quit talking about me. It's been 3 fucking months since I texted you. And you're spiraling out of control.
Gypsy.
So yeah, I get mad, I get frustrated, I get angry because I know that that's not you. Where's the person that came to visit me when we had an argument and I told you don't come, and then you showed up anyway? Where's the person that was there for me whenever my parents were on the edge of a divorce? And Christy didn't pick up the phone for 3 weeks. And you were all I had.
Not you spilling the beans.
You think I forgot about that? I haven't. I hate that we keep doing this back and forth, trying to hurt each other. But we're not trying to hurt each other. We're trying to hurt each other's reputations.
No, you are.
I hate the fact that we are trying to be at war with each other. But I know I just want the best for you. I want you to be happy.
Okay, so you know Gypsy did this a couple of months ago. She was spiraling out of control. But baby, she been blowing up Brian Anderson's phone. So last week he was on live and your boy said she called him 8 times back to back. You see she was getting unhinged, talking about you spiraling out of control since you haven't spoken to me. But then she gets up on a platform crying. And then she puts out his medical information and she gets the man fired from his second job. Like, she just does the most. And then she still calls this man and she literally cries about, where's the man that I abused? And where's the man that I did all these things to that would still show up and be there for me? How dare you put yourself first? How dare you love you and not love me more? Even though I'm abusive emotionally. How dare you put yourself first? Who do you think you are? Whoa, child. And if that's what she doing to Ryan, just imagine what she's doing to Ken. I bet you Ken want to leave. But the problem is, she has something on him. I wonder if it's the same thing that might get exposed in those. Never mind. I'll talk to y'all later.
I remember my mom had gave me this little glass house.
It is not October 31st. Why are you doing this? When I say you just look like a much, much prettier version of Gypsy. Like, Gypsy looked like the great value version of you. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. You did a good job with this one. You did a good job. You nailed the whole outfit. I am no Taylor Swift fan, okay? But Gypsy Rose Blanchard put a video on her page that said that Taylor Swift's video or song on her album sounded like I just had X, right? You know, the S word, okay? And that's all it sounded like. That's what she puts on there, which is really funny because, girl, you see that the whole shed thing just came back out. Remember you had that little toddler bed when you was 23 years old back in the shed with the Pampers and stuff? That was your playroom. You think we forgot what you was doing, Hot Pocket? So the fact, like, look, Taylor ain't putting on any Pampers that I know of. Okay, child, she don't have a shed. And we seen the emails where you was confessing to some naughty stuff. Gypsy, cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out, Gypsy. Stop. Because, look, I know you was selling it. Selling some stuff. I'm not going to say what it was. But I know you was selling something. That shed was very interesting. Shall we talk? You know what, Gypsy? Don't even go there. Some things you should just sit out. And this was one of them.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard went on a rant the other day about her mom being a terrible mom. Now, if you've been following this case, you know everything Gypsy has said has turned out to be a lie. If you haven't watched her interrogation, it's on my YT page. You could go check it out. But we know that her mom was never diagnosed with Munchausen by proxy. There was never a diagnosis. Her mom never had Munchausen by proxy, according to doctors. Okay, she was not diagnosed with Munchausen. Let's be very clear. But Halloween comes around right now. Gypsy buys herself 5 Halloween costumes. Gypsy buys her daughter 2. None of the costumes are her daughter's size. One is 0 to 3 months. You know her baby's about to turn 1 in December, okay? And then she bought one that is 12 to 24 months. But all of Gypsy's Halloween costumes fit her. Although she's editing her photos, yes. And, you know, her videos. But this girl don't even really actually have a Halloween costume for her baby that fits her. But she all live showing everybody her costumes. And she talk about her mama. Gypsy was projecting every bit of who she says her mom is who she is. That's the real tea. She is selfish. She's self-centered. She's done. I'm not even gonna go there because I don't need to be in no straitjacket.
Now keep in mind, my babies have their Halloween costumes. They've had their Halloween costumes since mid-September. Do I know what I'm going to be for Halloween yet? No, because they were my priority. They went first. I didn't even think about myself. I think about myself last minute. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is such a joke that someone already made a Halloween costume way before October 15th. Y'all got to see this. Now, they're dancing to Walk It Out, 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 Walk It Out. The choice of the song that they recorded this to is sending me. And the fact that she keeps throwing her in the wheelchair, first of all, look at the hair. Look at Diddy's hair. Yo, this is sending. Could you imagine showing up to a Halloween party at Diddy and Drip? That's how much of a joke you are that you have made it to a Halloween party before Halloween because they think you too funny. And the fact that the whole internet is cracking up about this. The embarrassment, child. Embarrassing. Yo, I could not stop laughing when I saw this. I know Jip has to see this and be like, damn, am I this much of a fool? Nah, because she can't reflect like that. But all you could do is really laugh at this because just imagine being this much of a clown. Embarrassing. Have y'all seen the girl that said that she saw Gypsy Rose at the doctor's appointment and her pulse went up? I need to show y'all that too while we at it.
I done ran into Gypsy Rose today at the doctor's office, and I just about passed out. And when I mean I just about passed out, I go up into the room. The nurse takes my pulse with a little thing on my finger, and it's just beeping away, and I ain't think nothing of it. My doctor comes in. She said, I noticed your pulse rate was a little high, which is weird because it seems like it's fine now. I said, girl, it's because I walked in the doctor's office with Gypsy Rose. So Gypsy Rose, if you're seeing this, hey girl, you looked beautiful. Your bump is so cute.
Imagine your pulse going up over someone that's a Halloween costume. I just had to show y'all this. I've been meaning to show y'all this all week, but I didn't want to put it in a video just by itself because I just didn't feel like it was that relevant. But this was the perfect time to show y'all. So I hope you guys think this was just as funny as I do. 50 Cent didn't just wake up petty. He woke up possessed by every spirit of every person Diddy ever did wrong because baby, the trolling is getting surgical. So 50 dropped this courtroom sketch of Diddy laying on the floor after he got the verdict from sentencing. He says, caption, I think he dropped his pencil. I'm going to send Jane to see him and make sure he's okay. How much do you think she'll charge for that? Y'all, now 50, be real. That's not a man who dropped his pencil. That's a man who dropped his whole career. And that Jane line, he talked about the anonymous witness from the trial, a.k.a. his baby mama, because everybody know that now. Meaning 50 turned a testimony into a stand-up comedy. He's saying, I'll send one of your little freak-off friends to check on you. Like, I can't. Then he doubles down with this post showing the TMZ clip about Diddy being scared about being in prison. 50 captions it, oh man, he's only got 50 months to do. The lawyers are saying Sean's afraid of someone, him. LOL. Now 50 out here clocking the exact sentence like a probation officer and still finding the time to roast him. Like this man is serving 50 months, not getting roasted for 50 minutes.
But 50 is treating it like a straight up pay-per-view moment event, okay? And at this point, 50 Cent is not just trolling. He's producing a limited series, okay? And every post in this new episode of Surviving Shade, the Diddy Chronicles, and the wild part is, he's tagging his liquor brand in every caption. So he's literally monetizing the downfall. Between the courtroom sketches and the TMZ clips, 50 is reminding everybody his petty is timeless, his shade is undefeated, and his sense of humor is federal level dangerous. So yeah, Diddy got 50 months behind bars, and 50 Cent got 50 captions locked and loaded, okay? So stay tuned, because this feud ain't over. It's just getting started.
So Bad Bunny basically said, if you don't understand him by February, that's a you problem, Bookie. So Bad Bunny is headlining the halftime show, and apparently some people are pressed like a panini, like shaking in their barbecue sauce pressed. Folks mad because he's performing in Spanish in America, where half the audience listens to Despacito on repeat like it's gospel, so I really don't get it. But baby, he got on Saturday Night Live in the most bilingual mic drop ever. You have 4 months to learn. And I felt that in my spirit, okay? Because what he really meant was, y'all been expecting Latinos to translate since forever. Now it's time for y'all to catch up. But then he reminded everybody Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, which apparently still shocks a lot of people that failed geography and Google searches. And considering the president said he spoke to the president of Puerto Rico, I want to know if he was sitting in the Oval Office talking about self and himself saying, And when they asked him why he skipped the U.S. tours, he said basically because he didn't want to have ICE at his concerts, babe. Like, imagine you trying to go see Bad Bunny while dodging immigration. Be serious. Bad Bunny said he is doing it in Spanish, loud, proud, and unbothered. And if you don't like it, you could keep it pushing, baby. So if you can't sing along by the Super Bowl, that's not his problem. Y'all need to figure it out with you and Duolingo.
50 Cent didn't just wake up petty. He woke up possessed by every spirit of every person Diddy ever did wrong, because baby, the trolling is getting surgical. So 50 dropped this courtroom sketch of Diddy laying on the floor after he got the verdict from sentencing. He says, caption, I think he dropped his pencil. I'm going to send Jane to see him and make sure he's okay. How much do you think she'll charge for that? Y'all. Now 50, be real. That's not a man who dropped his pencil. That's a man who dropped his whole career. And that Jane line, he talked about the anonymous witness from the trial, aka his baby mama, because everybody know that now. Meaning 50 turned a testimony into a stand-up comedy. He's saying, I'll send one of your little freak-off friends to check on you. Like, I can't. Then he doubles down with this post showing the TMZ clip about Diddy being scared about being in prison. 50 captions it, oh man, he's only got 50 months to do. The lawyers are saying Sean's afraid of someone, him. LOL. Now 50 out here clocking the exact sentence like a probation officer and still finding the time to roast him. Like, this man is serving 50 months, not getting roasted for 50 minutes. But 50 is treating it like a straight up pay-per-view moment event, okay? And at this point, 50 Cent is not just trolling. He's producing a limited series, okay? And every post in this new episode of Surviving Shade, the Diddy Chronicles, and the wild part is, he's tagging his liquor brand in every caption. So he's literally monetizing the downfall. Between the courtroom sketches and the TMZ clips, 50 is reminding everybody his petty is timeless, his shade is undefeated, and his sense of humor is federal level dangerous. So yeah, Diddy got 50 months behind bars, and 50 Cent got 50 captions locked and loaded, okay? So stay tuned, because this feud ain't over. It's just getting started. Nicki Minaj has been going off on Cardi B and Cardi B's daughter all week. But I think we should remind her about Slither from Remy Ma. That was the most diabolic song I had ever heard. It is so diabolic that I cannot even play it on TikTok because I will immediately get banned. Remy Ma bodied her in a way that you can't even, you just would have to YouTube it and listen to it, because she got bodied so bad. Stay humble. You lucky Cardi ain't going for you like that. Who remembers that? Who remembers when Remy Ma went in on Nicki? Like, it was so bad, it took Nicki a week to respond. It's like, girl, stop playing. Because you can't handle Bronx chicks. So why are you playing with Cardi B? You can't handle it. The temperature be too hot for you. But you out here trolling on the internet. Like, why do you troll on the internet? That's so whack. Like, you make Queens chicks embarrassed. Nicki, sit down. Sit down. Because you had been bodied by Remy years ago. Cardi, please clock that tea. Clock that tea, please. You ever notice Beyonce moves silent like the G in lasagna? Well, that silence got real loud when it came to Nicki Minaj. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Y'all keep wondering why Beyonce doesn't mess with Nicki Minaj. And I think it's funny. Like, did y'all forget the timelines?
So once upon a time, they were thicker than thieves. They came out with Feeling Myself. Do y'all remember that? The world was obsessed and the internet was in a chokehold. Two queens, one screen, the energy was unmatched. But Nicki's world just got messier and Beyonce started stepping back. No unfollow, no shade, just a quiet disappearance. And that's how you know it was that serious. Let's talk about what changed. Nicki's brother was convicted of some horrific crimes and Nicki was standing behind him. But her husband, same story, registered offender. Her uncle, same kind of headlines. That's 3 different family ties that basically ties to predatory behavior. And when that type of darkness keeps circling back to you, someone like Beyonce, who's about protection, motherhood, image, and legacy, she's not sticking around for the splash drama, okay? Now, again, you know, Beyonce moves silent like the G in lasagna. So Beyonce does what Beyonce does, and she makes moves. She don't make statements, okay? She builds her empire on silence, discipline, and distance. And when Nicki's name kept coming up in courtroom chaos and controversy, Beyonce did what was best for her. She vanished. So no, she didn't shade Nicki. She didn't call her out. She just removed herself, like she always does when the energy gets dark. Because one thing about Beyonce is she's not about to let your scandal stain her spirit. She moves silent like the G in lasagna. Every time we think this Diddy case is reaching closure, a new plot twist drops. Y'all ready? Because he's playing chess, and I'm about to call checkmate.
What you giving to the world? I don't think you know, man.
But my baby cried.
You gotta give her a bottle. Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart.
Thank you.
You hear it? You inspire, you energize, and you've left that for the rest of the existence of this planet, man.
One thing about great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere.
From New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something good. I wanted to get my generation in the hip-hop community behind us. They've come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And, you know, this is just a start. It's something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking it to the streets. It's a beautiful city.
First up, Diddy's lawyer drops a nearly 12-minute tribute video meant to be played at sentencing. According to TMZ, it opens with a gentle interaction with his children, doing community events, speaking softly to his daughter, and positioning himself as a loving father. This is classic image rehab, trying to humanize someone on the brink of being judged. But the question is, does crying and charity erase allegations? We'll see. Next, the prosecutors reveal that Diddy already booked a speaking engagement in Miami for next week. Yup, while the sentencing is still looming, they call this audacity, as if he's acting like he's walking out of there a free man. Appropriation of the narrative before the sentencing hits. Finally, in court, one of Diddy's defense attorneys broke down in tears during the hearing. The moment did more than drama. It's a part of an emotional play, victimizing, humanizing, softening up the room for mercy. Tears, it's a tactic. Not always weakness. In this trial, emotion is a tool. So when you put them all side by side, the homage video, the book speaking gig, the tears in court, you see a pattern. Diddy is not just a defendant against charges. He's playing defense in the court of public opinion. This is more than a legal strategy. It's a campaign to shape the legacy, mitigate the punishment, and control the story before the gravel drops. But listen, no video, no gig, no tear can wash away accountability. The question isn't if he will be sentenced, it's how hard. The judge and the victims deserve more than a PR show. And I think this really shows where he is at. His lack of accountability. I mean, keep in mind, he's filed to have a motion to throw these charges out. So he's not actually holding himself accountable. And I think that shows more than anything else. And for him to have this speaking engagement shows that he doesn't feel like he should be held accountable. That's not rehabilitation. So that video to me is null and void.
Sean Diddy Combs was just sentenced to 50 months. Prosecution was asking for 11 years. Probation asked for 5 to 7 years. And his defense team was asking for 14 months. He's gotten 50. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? So, I don't know. But I'm happy that he at least got some time. And I think that the judge was trying to be cautious just in case of an appeal. I don't know. I don't know. he did say that he took into account everything that Diddy has done, and also the positive things he's done, but it can't outweigh the bad and the abuse. And he did mention that Jane and Cassie wanted to end it, and he felt like that meant that he needed significant time. So, I mean, this sentencing was a long day. How do you guys feel? What are your thoughts? Let me get this straight. While the rest of us are watching the sentencing unfold like a full-blown Netflix drama, Diddy is out here thinking he is still on a press circus. The prosecution said in court that Diddy booked a speaking engagement for next week in Miami, like he's available. Baby, the only engagement he should be worried about is that sentencing hearing. Who told him he had a schedule to keep? The nerve, the delusion, the bookings? This man is facing serious charges, has evidence stacked taller than his ego, and he's out here thinking he's giving a TED Talk next week? Nah, he's giving audacity. This is a part of the PR play. Look innocent, stay busy, confuse the public, and try to rewrite the narrative before the gravel drops. But we see it clearly now. If this was a regular person, do you think he'd be planning a speaking engagement mid-sentencing? Nah. He'd be lucky to speak to his lawyers on time. Gina just submitted a letter to the judge defending Diddy ahead of sentencing, and the timing, baby, is suspicious. Let's get into it. In her letter, Gina says that the prosecutors made her feel pressured into feeling like a victim, and that she was never trafficked or forced into prostitution. She even asked the judge to consider letting Diddy go home to his family. Cute, right? But let's keep it real. Gina has admitted in court that Diddy was still paying her rent at the time that trial was happening, okay? And you mean to tell me days before her sentencing, she finds her voice to defend him? Girl, that's not loyalty. That's a lease agreement. And your bills need to be paid. So the fact that you are so gun-ho on minimizing abuse for $1 says a lot about you. Letters like this do not erase testimony. They do not erase evidence, but they're meant to sway the judge, to paint him as less of a monster. Meanwhile, everybody else has been testifying about the freak-offs, the abuse, the manipulation. So ask yourself this: who benefits the most by playing the good ex right now? At the end of the day, Gina's rent might be paid, but her credibility is in overdrive. We'll see if the judge buys into it tomorrow. But the sad part about this is she makes victims look bad everywhere, and this is why they call people gold diggers. Because of people that lack moral scruples and that will minimize abuse for $1. Can we just admit at this point being charged with fraud is basically a housewife badge of honor? Forget about the diamonds. Forget about the peaches. Give these women a Bravo branded ankle monitor because it's much needed. So now we got Real Housewives star Platonic Wendy and her husband Eddie booked into Maryland for allegedly scamming their insurance company out of $450,000. They claimed their house got robbed, but investigators said those stolen items were already refunded or returned. And Wendy? Sis was allegedly wearing one of those stolen rings on social media, child. And baby, the caption was paid in full. Every housewife city got at least one scammer, okay? And Teresa Giudice, I love you, baby, but yeah, check fraud, done that. Jen Shaw, they said she was telemarketing the elderly. I mean, I ain't got nothing to say. Erica, expensive to be me. And the Fed said, yeah, it was stolen money, Bookie. This ain't reality TV anymore, okay? This is Bravo, RICO universe. So when Wendy joined Real Housewives, she said she had 4 degrees, okay? But she forgot to admit the 5th one, Masters in Misconduct, and a syllabus in Fraud 101, okay? And the techniques that she must have learned. And at this point, Indy Cohen, are you a federal agent? Because every time one of them chicks sit on your couch, the next week there's a mugshot. I'm starting to think BravoCon is just a sting operation in heels, okay? New city, new scandal, same storyline, housewives gone rogue. Somebody cue the handcuffs and the confessional. Okay, that's all I want. Kim Zolciak's husband, Croy Bierman, finally spoke out. And baby, this isn't a Bravo post. This is a cry from somebody who's been through some emotional hell. He wrote that he didn't want to make it. And the pain, the confusion, and the gaslighting was so bad, he started believing he was the problem. And if you've been in a toxic relationship, you know that kind of manipulation that will break your spirit before it breaks your heart. What got me was how honest he was about praying for it all to end, even if it meant for him to end. That's deep. That's not PR. That's a man talking about survival. And then he said something powerful. But God met me in the darkness. Woo, baby. Like, that just shook my spirit. We all watched the drama with Kim Zolciak, and we know how this all unfolded, right? Like, she has always been, I don't know, odd, but she also gave me the person that would do this. I don't know how to explain that to you, but this post reveals that it wasn't just reality TV, it was emotional damage. So here's the thing. No matter what side you're on, it takes courage to talk about this kind of pain publicly. And if you're healing too, take this as your reminder that survival doesn't mean staying. It means staying alive. And I really feel bad for their babies because they had 3 together, right? Yeah, this is wild. Now, y'all, Derrick Grove didn't just get arrested. He had a whole GQ inmate edition photo shoot on the tarmac. Like, sir, why are you posing like this is a debut album cover? You not catching flights, you catching charges, baby. He up there in them Nike shorts, hoodie on, jawline set, like he about to drop a track called Locked Up Luxury. The Louisiana State Police even gave him the most dramatic backdrop. I was waiting for the wind to blow back his hoodie like it was an editorial spread. Baby, this boy had a wristband, the handcuffs, the whole fit coordinated like he knew TMZ was coming. I swear he told the officer, hold on, let me turn to the side, get my good angles. Nah, this man got arrested in 4K, high definition, no blur, no shame, just vibes. He's stepping onto that plane like, yeah, they booked me, but I'm still blessed. You would think this was the BET Hip Hop Awards, not a transfer into federal custody. I half expected a drone and DJ Khaled to pop out like another one. At this point, they might as well give him a mixtape deal from the penitentiary because this mugshot rollout was cinematic. Derrick Grove ain't just going to prison. He's going on a press tour, okay? Now, y'all, Derrick Grove didn't just get arrested. He had a whole GQ inmate edition photo shoot on the tarmac. Like, sir, why are you posing like this is a debut album cover? You not catching flights, you catching charges, baby. He up there in them Nike shorts, hoodie on, jawline set, like he about to drop a track called Locked Up Luxury. The Louisiana State Police even gave him the most dramatic backdrop. I was waiting for the wind to blow back his hoodie like it was an editorial spread. Baby, this boy had a wristband, the handcuffs, the whole fit coordinated like he knew TMZ was coming. I swear he told the officer, hold on, let me turn to the side, get my good angles. Nah, this man got arrested in 4K, high definition, no blur, no shame, just vibes. He's stepping onto that plane like, yeah, they booked me, but I'm still blessed. You would think this was the BET Hip Hop Awards, not a transfer into federal custody. I half expected a drone and DJ Khaled to pop out like another one. At this point, they might as well give him a mixtape deal from the penitentiary because this mugshot rollout was cinematic. Derrick Grove ain't just going to prison. He's going on a press tour, okay? Okay, so I think it's time for us to talk about the lady with the 5 kids under 7, and she's 29 years old. Your husband set you up to be the housemaid. That was all he did. He knew if you had 5 kids, you couldn't go nowhere, okay? You couldn't leave and do nothing. You was going to be in that house. So you need to switch the roles, okay? Leave him with the kids and go do you. I have always told myself, and I've been married twice, I always said that I will never have more than 2 to 3 kids. I have 2 and I'm not having any more. The reason why I said that is me with 3 kids can fit in my car and get the hell on. If your husband takes your car, guess what? You can't go nowhere. I need to be able to get up and keep it moving if things go south. But you came on here telling me I put a finger down. No, none of us could say we had 5 kids under the age of 7. I'm sorry, Buki. And I know there's going to be people that say you don't go into marriage saying, what if it ends? You have to always have a plan B no matter what happens. Because things happen to end. Or, he could get sick or whatever. Think about you being a mom, taking care of 5 kids on your own if something goes south. Like, girl, at some point you got to hold yourself accountable because you letting that man constantly... I don't know, girl. I don't think that was a good plan. I just feel like you should always plan that if things go south, you can handle it. 1000%. Because I feel as though society pressures women into having kids. And some women never wanted kids. I was someone that never wanted kids. And I'm so grateful I have my 2 babies. But I felt societal pressure and pressure from my family to get married and settle down and have kids. But I feel like we're all raised to be people pleasers, and especially people that are from outside of the U.S. or have parentage from outside of the U.S. It's even more so that when I was growing up, I feel like it's becoming more that now in the U.S. But the pressure of being a people pleaser is at a huge expense of losing yourself. And it teaches young women that to put everybody else before you. And most of the time, you end up in narcissistic and abusive relationships because that personality trait tends to attract narcissists. They prey on those types of people. When you're strong in who you are, it doesn't mean that you feel as though a partner wouldn't add to you, but you should be complementing each other. It shouldn't be out of necessity. And that's where I feel like a lot of relationships go wrong, is that it's not to complement each other. And also, most of us get married or are in relationships solely because of love. Love is a feeling, and feelings change. So if you only get married for love, that feeling could change. And when it does, what happens? It needs to be more solid than that. And women, again, I will say this, and this is something that my mom, my grandma, every elder in my family has told me. You need to be with a man that loves you more than you love him. Because men aren't nurturers. So inherently, they worry about themselves. But if he loves you more than you love him, he will always treat you like a queen. And when we're loved correctly, we will always love you back and more. I think that boundaries is a very important conversation to have with our daughters. To love yourself first, put you first, love you, be kind to you, care for you, and the right person will come into your life. But don't feel pressured by society or Instagram or whatever to be with. If anyone tries to pressure you into anything, it is time for you to walk away. Love you first.